Hello, and welcome to the Budget Knitter Podcast. My name is Will Spargur. I am your host. I'm coming to you from Henderson, Nevada, where I live with my two dogs, Princess and Duchess. And today is episode 33, and we are well into the new year as we keep trucking along through 2019, which is a wonderful and exciting thing for me, and I hope it is for you as well. So if you are a new subscriber, you can find all of my wonderful things in the video description box below. I'm on Ravelry as WSpargurKnits and on Twitter as WSpargurKnits. I'm on Instagram as WillMSU. I am on Facebook as facebook.com/thebudgetknitter. There's a Ravelry group for this podcast, which is the Budget Knitter Podcast. And new thing about that, I did start the Finished Objects of 2019 thread. So we did the Finished Objects of 2018 last year, and this year we're going to do 2019. So a few people had asked about that. So yes, we have it. It is in there. Go and post your finished objects. It is a celebration of finishing our crafting. There's no prizes or anything. It's just a great way to encourage and to congratulate people on finishing things. So that is up and it is available, and you should go put your projects in it. I also have an Etsy shop for this podcast, which is thebudgetknitter.etsy.com. I plan to have a new yarn release in March. I'm in the planning stages of that, but that will be coming to you soon. And then also, all of the things for the new Spargur Yarn Company line are in the video description box below as well. There's the website, there's the Facebook group, and the Instagram, and the email for that. And I have a little bit of an update on how that is going towards the end of the podcast, so stick around. For seasoned subscribers, thank you for coming back and enjoying another podcast. I'm really excited to be here. To be honest, this is the first podcast I've filmed in a while where I actually feel really into it. I know several of you have noticed in the past, especially in the last couple of months, I just didn't seem quite as energetic or quite like I was here the whole time. And life is life and things have to be dealt with, and so I was really just trying to use this time as a way to escape a lot of the things that were going on in my personal life. But a lot of those things have been taken care of, and I'm back and I'm here and I'm excited. And so is Duchess. So I don't have a whole lot to show you today, but I do have plenty, and we're going to have a good time. So I actually have some exciting news. I think in a past podcast I told you I was not going to be able to go to Stitches West. I just couldn't work it out. I couldn't get the money together. I really couldn't make it happen the way I wanted it to happen. Change of plans. I really want to thank my grandparents who I told them how important it was to me, and they stepped up and they helped me with the airfare and the hotel room. Everything else is on me, but the airfare and the hotel room, they generously gifted me the money to be able to go. So I am happy to say I am going to Stitches West. So if you are at Stitches, or if you are going to Stitches West, please let me know. I would love to meet you. I will be walking around as much as I can. So yeah, that is really exciting. I can't believe I'm actually going to get to go. I was kind of bummed about it there for a little bit, but I'm going, and I could not be happier. So with that momentum, let's move on to some of my works in progress. What do I have going first? Oh, so the last time I showed this sweater, it was kind of like this thing I was doing. I am so sorry. I bought my dog new toys, and instead of having stuffing in them, it has a really loud piece of plastic. So they're hidden throughout the house. Okay, I think we're good. Anyway, the last time I showed this sweater, I was barely through the yoke. So, I've separated for the sleeves. Look at that. Isn't this yarn just knitting up beautifully? I am obsessed with this. Now, if you'll remember, when I first started this, so this is the Incredible Custom Fit Raglan by Pamela Costello. No, that's not it. I don't have the pattern here. Because it's a very customizable pattern. In my past podcasts, you can find where I talk more about how this is constructed and the math that goes into it. But it's supposed to be a pattern that'll help you make a sweater that fits you perfectly. So I've been following that. But this yarn is gorgeous. And I did mention that when I started using this yarn, it actually doesn't have a ball band. Well, I was going through and I found one of them that does have a ball band. But I didn't pull it out. It's down in a crate over here. But it is I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's an old skein. I got it in this lot that my mom had gotten me like 6 months ago. And there were 4 skeins of it. But I'm going to do this for the main body, and then the sleeves are going to be in just a tweedy tan. I think that'll be a fun contrast. But yeah, last time I showed this to you, I hadn't gotten very far, and I recently just put in a lot of work on it. So I've separated for the sleeves, and I've done probably about 30 rows since, well, maybe not 30, probably closer to 20, since casting the sleeves off. So making pretty good progress on this. I'm actually really excited about it, and I love stockinette sweaters. I think they're great. Especially if you've got a yarn that does the work for you. This is fantastic. I'm knitting on US 8s. These are actually a set of Knitter's Pride needles, and I just had them. I think I was using my Chow Goose on something else, so I just picked these up when I started this. So no, this is going really, really well, and I just wanted to update you on that. Also, so this mic that I'm using is very, one, I know it can be kind of muffled sometimes. 2, it is very strong, and so I'm still playing around with where it works best. So if it fluctuates a lot, I am so sorry. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm hoping I'm going to find a place where it doesn't get... Duchess, sweetie. I know that's a toy that you love. Can we not do that right now? No? Okay. Sorry. Can you go play with your sister? I guess she's really just old enough to be your mom. Go play with your stepmom. Can I have the toy? Can I have the toy? No? Okay. Anyway. Next thing is the Make Your Own Luck shawl. I've been working on this for a while, and it's a knit along with Steve of Leading Men Fiber Arts and my friend Rafa and my other friend Izzy. Duchess, sweetie, I'm so sorry I bought you that toy. Anyway, so last time I was on this, I was on color section 3. I'm on color section 4 now, and the banana hammock pudginess is going away. Several of you that commented on that on the last video killed me laughing because you were so, you found it so funny. So, it's growing. It's actually really fun. I mean, fingering weight shawls. That's all I have to say about that. But I think I'm trying really hard to follow the pattern as written and not to make any modifications and to try to enjoy the process of the knitting. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And the longer this gets, the more frustrating it gets. I'm using US 6s for this. I'm not going to show much because it really hasn't changed much. I really want to get further on it before I show it again. But I just hate fingering weight garments or accessories that aren't socks. I don't hate them. I'm just not in a very loving relationship with them right now. But I think that's also because recently I've really been on a crochet kick, and I love to crochet like worsted weight yarn, and that instant gratification is enough that when I go back to fingering weight things, I'm just like, why is this taking so long? But anyway, there's that. Again, not much changed on that. I really want to get to the place where I stop increasing. You get to 209 stitches and then you don't increase anymore. It just kind of shifts the shawl. It takes the center point and it moves it. Anyway, it's a really cool design. That's the Make Your Own Luck shawl by Lisa Ross. She's Paper Daisy Creations on Instagram. It's a really cool shawl, and I'm really excited to finally get it done, but I definitely know that I will probably not knit it again because fingering weight. Okay, So this, it's the poncho I'm working on again. I haven't touched this in a while. So that's how far I am. Woo! Garter stitch and stuff. Yeah, I don't think I actually touched that since the last podcast. Oops, well, you're seeing it again. Okay, so one more work in progress. Right. Remember, so I made that Vegas bandana cowl, the one I designed with Dizzy Blonde Studios, her yarn, and then I was just kind of like BSing another big shawl thing. So I put a border on this and just realized that it wasn't big enough for what I wanted to do. So I went and bought another ball of the yarn, and so I'm going to add to it. I'm going to leave this top edge, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'll rip it out. I should probably rip it out, shouldn't I? Where did I weave that end in? I guess it's over here. Did I weave it in? What did I do with it? Where is it? Anyway, I'm probably going to rip the border part off just so that I can add to this. Or maybe I won't, and I'll just keep crocheting all the way around it. No, I don't want to do that either. Ugh. I'm going to have to find where did that go? I don't know where I wove it in, but I'm going to have to find where I wove it in and take it out and rip the top border off so that I can keep going with it. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it bigger. So this is the Red Heart Dreamy Stripes. Found this at Joannes. It was $9.99 essentially. So yeah, I think I'm using a US 8 hook. I'm going to have to actually go back and watch the old podcast and see what I told you I was using, because I can't remember. Duchess! Stop it, sweetie. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna do more with this. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna see. I just want to do more with it. I don't think this did what I wanted it to do. So that's my last work in progress. Finished objects! Oh my gosh, I actually have a couple. Okay, so this is basically done. I'm gonna add to it, but it's basically done. Hi, sweetie. Ooh. Honey, your foot is on my wire. Okay, so this is basically done. I am going to add a little bit more to the top because I want it to fit a little bit better. But I made another Vegas bandana cowl, but I did it in my personal hand-dyed. This is the Vegas Born colorway, which is exclusive to my local yarn store, Mad Knitter's Yarn. She's been carrying this colorway for a few months now that I've been dyeing, and this is a very early version. This isn't even what we finished with, so the ones she gets now have a little bit more red and gold in them, and definitely more gray. There's definitely more gray in the ones I give her now, but she doesn't have anything in the shop that anybody can see like what the yarn will look like when used. So Duchess. Guys, I am so sorry. Half of this podcast is going to be me telling the dog to be quiet. I don't even know where the other dog is. She's usually in here, and I don't know where she is. Anyway, so she doesn't have anything in the shop that kind of shows what this looks like knit up. She has other people who have used it who bring in their projects, and that's cool, but she doesn't have anything that like stays at the shop. So because the cowl or the bandana cowl that I designed with Dizzy Blonde Studios is called the Vegas Bandana, I figured I would go ahead and do it out of this colorway to have a shop sample. By the way, that pattern is going to be free when it's done, and I know several of you are still testing it. So if you've finished, will you please send me pictures or let me know what mistakes or anything you found? None of you have emailed me with questions, so I'm assuming it's going okay. I've been following the pattern, and I actually did find one mistake. There's a chain 2 I forgot to put in there in the middle of a row somewhere. So I do need to fix that, but other than that, nobody seems to be having any problems, so I hope it's going well. But if you have finished it, please send me pictures. A couple of you have already, so no need to send them to me again if you've already sent me pictures. But yeah, so I'm doing that in this colorway, and I'm going to add a little bit more around the top here to just bring it in around my neck. And then because this is a very old base, It's not a base that I've used recently. It's not as soft. It's a little harder wearing. It's definitely a sock yarn. So this is, when it blocks, I'm definitely going to be soaking it in some wool wash to hopefully soften it up a little bit. But it's basically just going to be a shop model. That's all I really need it to be. But yeah. And in the future, I'm going to design a knitted version of this so that you knitters can also make one very similar. So that's basically done. I'm going to do like 4 more rows on it, but it's basically done. I made a bunch of these. Thank you to everyone who purchased a cowl after that podcast. I cannot tell you how much that helped me. It got me through the 2 weeks I needed it to get me through. I was able to get gas, and I was able to like buy a box of ramen, so I was able to eat for that 2 weeks. It helped tremendously, and I cannot thank you enough to everyone who purchased one of those cowls. If you didn't purchase a cowl but you like the cowl, the pattern is now available for free on my website, which is thesparguryarn.com, which is in the video description box below. You can go and get that. It's called the Escape Cowl, ESCAPE, and the ESC is because the center here is all extended single crochet, which is abbreviated ESC. So it's the Apes cowl, so the Escape cowl. So I've been making some more of these. I sent a few to my grandparents because they're going to Norway, and they thought they were really cute, and so I decided to send them a couple. This is done in Cascade 220, and Cascade, of course, doesn't have like color names or anything fun. So it's just yellow. It's really pretty, and as a bonus, I am going to film and upload a tutorial on how to make this. So if you get the pattern and you're unfamiliar with some of the techniques, we're going to go over it together. So it's not going to be immediate. You got to give me some time. I've got like this list of videos I got to do. But anyway, we are going to do this together as a tutorial. So stick around on my channel for that because I think you guys are really going to love this. In addition to the free cowl pattern, my free netted mesh hat pattern is also available on my website, and you can go and check that out. These are for the crocheters. I need to put out some more knit patterns. Sorry. But for your crocheters, I've got 2 free patterns for you. And my last finished object for this podcast. Guess what, guys? I finished it. I finished the architecture scarf. I blocked it. I have finished knitting it. I am done. Oh, I am so done with this. This was a nightmare. By the end of this, I was ready to quit. I hated knitting this so much. And it's not because it's ugly. It's not the yarn. It just, again, fingering weight. No. But it's done. My friend Jeff is going to love it. I need to give it to him. I just haven't seen him to give it to him. This is the Architecture Scarf by Jennifer Weissman. If you want to knit this, you should tackle it. I think everyone should do it. It does play with some really cool texture. It's got garter, it's got stockinette, it's got seed stitch, it's got increasing and decreasing and all of these fun things. Not my cup of tea. So, give it a shot though. It is really pretty. It is a lot of... It's a lot, and it probably would look a whole lot better in a solid color, or maybe something that's not quite as variegated, but this is what Jeff wanted. He wanted it in this yarn, so give it a shot. Check it out. I think it's a paid pattern. I think it's $5, but yeah, check it out. Anyway, I'm done with this. I knitted on US 5s, and it took me 2 years, or something like that. I don't know. How long have I been podcasting? A year and a half? Well, okay, it's been a year. It hasn't been 2 years. He gave me the yarn 2 years ago. I didn't podcast till after he gave me the yarn. So yeah, this has been on the needles for like a year. And I'm finally done with it. So yeah. That's all my finished objects. That's all I have for you in terms of items. Now I have some fun new stuff that I got. I think. Is that what's next on here? Yes. Okay, so I went to Joannes. Because I don't go to Joannes very often. I just kind of wanted to see what they had. And I found a few things that I just needed. Okay, so first thing, I love Walmart's Lion Brand Mandala. So this is basically the same thing. It's Lion Brand Cupcake. Mandala is 100% acrylic, and so is this. They're both DK weight. I don't know what the difference between Mandala and Cupcake is. Honestly, I think it's just a rebrand. Anyway, this one's called Coffee Break, and I'm going to be making a few more things for more male people, masculine people in my life who want more neutral type colors. So I've been looking for more neutral things. So this is probably going to become a scarf or something for one of the guys in my family. So this is really pretty. I love it. And of course, Coffee Break, I'm obsessed. I'm not obsessed with coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, but not as much as you think I would. Speaking of drinking. So, Lion Brand Mandala, or not, Lion Brand Cupcake. It's 590 yards, 100% acrylic, 150 grams. DK weight. It's a light DK. It's a number 3. So this is almost sport weight. Anyway, really pretty. Really cool. It's at Joannes. Yeah. I don't remember how much I paid for it because they had so many coupons today that by the time I was done at the register, I think like 60% had come off of everything, and I didn't keep the receipt. So I think these are, I want to say they're $9.99, but that doesn't sound right. Or $7.99 maybe? One of those. So right next to that was something I hadn't seen before. Oh, wait, let's do the thing I had seen before. So this is the Premier Sweet Roll. This is kind of like Premier's version of Karen Cakes, except that this is smaller. So this is 100% acrylic. It is a size 4 worsted. It is 245 yards for 140 grams. This colorway is Black Pepper Swirl. Again, so it's blacks and grays. More neutral, masculine geared yarns for more masculine people in my family. But that's what this is. You know what? I don't think sweet rolls come with a free pattern. Like, a lot of them do. This one doesn't say anything about a pattern. So I got this. I wanted to try them because, so many companies are trying to rival each other with the same types of yarn. And each one is a little bit different, or sometimes they're just exactly the same. But I wanted to try a few different things. And I also, because I'm trying to do more yarn reviews on this channel for budget-friendly yarns, I needed some yarns. So that's also what motivated this trip to Joannes. But right next to that was something I hadn't heard of, and it is Premier's DK Colors. So this is a very soft cake. It is a light number 3, 383 yards for 140 grams. It is anti-pilling acrylic, which I think is their way of just, because it's got a sheen to it. It's got a little bit of a shimmer. It reminds me of Karen Simply Soft, but thinner. So I think that's what this is. Also, I'm pretty sure this ball band is on upside down, but if I take it off, I won't get it back in. So this color is Tulip. Now they had a bunch of these in a bunch of different colors. Now this seems to have just a bunch of solids, and I don't think they repeat. Oh, they do, but not much. So these are a bunch of solids. They also have some where a couple of the colors are speckled. So I thought about picking up one of those, but I was trying to just keep to a sample size for now. Because the idea is with the yarn reviews, I like to make something with it so that you can see a project made with it. So the idea is to make something with these and then go back and buy another one if I like it. So anyway, it's really, really, really soft. And I kind of just want to turn it into a pillow. No, this is great. DK Colors by Premier Yarns at Joannes. This was $5.99. Last one. Woo! I know this has been around for a little bit, and some other people have bought it, but I hadn't seen it before. And I don't know what it is about craft stores in Vegas. They're just so poorly stocked and so poorly maintained. I was in this Joannes, and they had, as an example, Caron Simply Soft in one rack, and then like 3 down in a different brand, you'd have more Caron Simply Soft, but it was like tossed in with a bunch of other things. And so many of the balls of yarn at Joannes are just a tangled, twisted mess because people don't care. The ball bands fall off, and then nobody touches them, nobody tries to fix them, and then they try to sell them on clearance as this tangled mess of yarn. It's awful, and that's why I don't really go to this Joannes very often, is because it's just so poorly maintained. Everybody goes there for fabric. Nobody's really there for yarn, which sucks because they actually have some really nice stuff. But again, nobody there takes care of it. And I hate to say it, but some group of customers are just terrible customers. I don't know. Is there a thing where you didn't get taught as a child to put things back the way you found them? Because I was told to put everything back the way I found them. I'm the person that goes into a department store to like look at clothes, and if they're folded on a display, I will pick it up to see if I like it, or to see if it fits, or if I like the material, or to make sure I've got the right size. And if I don't like it, I will fold it and put it back. I mean, I've worked retail. Following behind somebody who's just tossing clothes everywhere is miserable, especially because most of the time in retail you get in trouble if you don't get the clothes folded and the displays don't look nice, but you spend so much time behind the register that you can't get anything else done in the store. Like, come on people, how hard is it to fold a t-shirt and put it back? Or how hard is it to pick up a thing of yarn and realize that you don't want it and go put it back where you got it? Sorry, I did not want to go on a rant about people. Anyway, this is one that I found that wasn't in the place where it was supposed to be, but I found it with a bunch of the same thing, but it wasn't labeled correct. I found it. It's Lion Brand's Shawl in a Cake. I know a lot of people have said that this used to be Shawl in a Ball, which is great. Apparently, though, the new thing is now it has sparkles. It has a thing of tinsel or shiny ribbon running through the whole thing. This one is, colorway is Moonstone, and it is 481 yards for 150 grams. It is 61% cotton, 34% acrylic, and 5% other fiber, which is the sparkle part. This I had to get because, well, these colors, at the time they reminded me kind of like antique, but that's not what I'm getting now. Anyway, I wanted to get it. Again, I want to try a few of these yarns and see how they knit up and what they look like and how they feel when using them so that I can do reviews on them later. And this really just spoke to me. I think this was $5.99 as well. I'm finding that a lot of the big box store brands are doing things that a lot of the more expensive yarn companies are doing. Like, well, so this was next to Red Heart's rainbow thing, which was about this size, about the same amount of yardage. But you know those yarns, they're gradient yarns, but it's 4 pieces of really thin yarn held together, and one changes color slowly, and so you get this really cool gradient effect as you knit with it. I think it's called like Trendsetter or something like that, but you keep it in the box and you just pull from inside the box. Red Heart has a version of that, except I think it's 2 strands of yarn instead of 4. But they have a version of that that's this size, and it's like $7 at Joannes. And I was going to pick one up, but as I was looking at it, I couldn't really tell where the ball was supposed to start. And I was afraid that if I got home and I started knitting with part of it, that I would end up knitting with the wrong part, and I'd eventually end up with a tangled mess. So I'm going to get it at some point and try it out, but I didn't want to buy too much on impulse right now. So anyway, this is really cool. I want to try this out. I love the sparkles in it. This is Lion Brand's Shawl in a Cake. This was also $5.99. Okay, so that's all my new stuff. I want to give you guys an update on my trunk show. I had my very first trunk show for Spargur Yarn Company at Mad Knitters Yarn here in Henderson. It went extremely well. I was so thrilled with everybody that turned out and supported me. Some of my coworkers showed up and brought me flowers and some Moscato, which I'm drinking now. So that was Courtney and Amanda. But I really want to thank Virginia at Mad Knitters Yarn for having me. So it was so surreal. There are pictures on my Instagram and on the Spargur Yarn Company Instagram as well of some of the people and the fun that we were having. I could not be happier with how it went. I believe I sold about half the stock. And then this morning, today at 10 a.m., the online store went live, and I nearly sold out of everything that I had there as well. There are still some things in the shop, though. So if you see this podcast and you really want to get something, I do still have some skeins of alpaca and some skeins of BFL are up there as well. Those things are available if that's something you want to check out. If not, there's going to be another. I just put in an order for more yarn today. I ordered 10,000 grams of bear yarn today, so that was a lot. But things are expanding very quickly. I've bought more supplies. I'm about to do an order for new dye colors that I haven't seen before or haven't tried before. I'm learning about mixing my dye stock solutions so that I can replicate my colors more easily. I am just learning so many new and wonderful things from so many people who have just been so incredibly supportive. You guys have been supportive. My family has been supportive. Everybody has just been so incredibly supportive. I literally cried when I got home from the trunk show because I was just, I couldn't believe that this was happening. It has been a lot of work, and it's definitely not something that I would have undertaken if I wasn't ready. You know, I still have to, the next thing that's got to happen is I've got to make sure that all of my sales are recorded with the Nevada sales tax place, and I have to pay sales tax on the things that I sell, and I've got to make sure that, because I have my federal tax ID and I've put in for the business license, so as soon as all of that paperwork is complete and done, then I'm actually okay. As long as I don't make a profit of more than $2,000 before I receive like the license, which it won't take long. I think they said next week. So I shouldn't be at any risk, because then I just have to log it for that month, which is not a problem. So yeah, no, everything is just, it's been insane. It's been crazy. It's been great. It's been everything that I thought it would be. And I am ready for the new challenges. I'm ready to try some new dyeing techniques. I'm ready to try some new colors. I am ready to try everything that I was afraid to try. There was so much fear going into the beginning of this. I had a couple of fears going into the trunk show. One, I was going to sell everything and have nothing to put online. And then my second fear was I was going to sell nothing at the trunk show and that I was going to have to rely solely on selling it online. Luckily, we met somewhere in the middle. And I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. I'm just ecstatic with this endeavor, and I am ready to take it to the next level. I'm not ready to quit my day job, and I don't know if I'll ever be ready to quit my day job. I don't know. It's something to consider, but right now I'm just happy to come home, dye about 20 skeins a day, get them ready and get them up there, and just have this nice constant supply of yarn. I'm so ready for this. I am so ready for this. More ready than I have been about a lot of things. So just thank you to everyone who has been a positive influence in helping me get this going. And like I said, I'm not going to forget the Budget Knitter Etsy shop. I do have an order placed for yarn for that as well. We are going to have a March release, probably mid-March. We're going to have a release for yarn in the Etsy shop as well. So if you're waiting for that, I promise it's coming, and you are going to love it. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that. If you haven't at least checked out the website, go to SpargurYarn.com. The link is in the video description box below. Hop over there, take a look, just browse the website. You don't have to buy anything, but you can subscribe to the mailing list. So I do have a mailing list, so you can subscribe to that and get all the fun updates. All right, what's next? Oh, so for those of you waiting for the massive giveaway, don't worry. I have filmed it. It is filmed. It is ready. I need to upload it, and I need to make sure that I have all of my shipping things ready. Again, I'll discuss it at the beginning of the video or I do discuss it at the beginning of the video for the giveaway, but remember, the sooner you get your mailing address to me, the sooner you will get your package, and I will mail them as in little chunks until everybody has gotten their prize. So don't worry if it's taking a while. It's just because I have to budget in the shipping costs. So the video is ready. Yeah, I have to edit and upload, and then we'll be good to go. So be looking for that here in the next week, okay? So yeah, with that being said, I have like 1,000 videos to film because I forgot that I'm supposed to be doing a couple of needle reviews for Knit Pal USA. I have a tutorial to film. I have a couple yarn reviews to film. What else do I have to film? Well, I would look, but my checklist is on my phone. So, and then every time I film a video, I'm like, oh, I should do a video on this and this. And so then I end up with, I have this list of things, but I don't want to upload too many videos. I want to keep the content nice and spread out, because I feel like if you're just bombarded with content from me, you're just going to get really annoyed. Because I'm a lot to handle. So you will have plenty of content coming. Oh, the other thing I'm going to do is, because the Vegas bandana cowl is going to be a free pattern, I am going to film a tutorial on it as well. So we will do that together sometime in the future, as soon as I'm good to go on Dizzy Blonde Studios getting the number of patterns and things she needs for her shows. So as soon as that's out of the way, then I'll film a tutorial for it. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else for you. I don't really have any life updates other than, I know I haven't mentioned him in a while, but I do still have a husband. Some things have gone down. A few of you know about it. I'm not going to talk about it publicly just because it's not something the whole world needs to know. But I did talk to a few of the people who reached out who were concerned, and I really want to thank them again for allowing me to get some things off my chest, which is one of the reasons that I'm so happy to be here again. And so he is still around. He is now working at the Mirage Casino on the Strip, and he started that job this past week. And he's on swing shift now, which here is anywhere from 2 to 10 or 5 to 1. It fits in that window. So it could be 2 to 10, 3 to 11, 4 to 12, or 5 to 1. So he's working tonight 2 to 10. And I will probably be asleep when he gets home. The only thing that kind of sucks about him working swing shift, though, is that because I work so early in the morning, I get up at 4:30 and I clock in at work at 6. So I'm off work between 1:30 and 2:30, depending on the week. And then I get home, but by the time I get home, because he's on swing shift, either he's already going to be gone, or he'll be just leaving. Unless he works at 5, then we might have, a little bit of time to eat and spend some time together. But it's going to be weird, because at any given time, it's going to feel like we live alone. So, we're gonna have to figure that out, figure out how to budget our time together and apart. But because I'll have so much time alone in the house, I have a lot of time to film things. So that's also why I have a long list of videos to film for you. But other than that, no real life updates. Sorry, usually I warn people when I'm going to talk about things that aren't knitting related. But that's it. And I'm going to go and finish this cowl and take care of a couple other things and just hang out with the dogs and have a wonderful weekend. And I hope you will do the same, whatever day it is. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And I will see you all again very soon here on the Budget Knitter Podcast channel. Bye.